What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today, Global, this is for you mostly, but also for JP as well, because we've only got one copy of one of the current cards we are going to be talking about, and that is the big debate that is going on, because Global, you're about to get one of the best Barbershop LR cards to come out so soon. And JP is over here going like, go for this guy, and Global's going, whoa, what do we go for? I've seen this gameplay, I've seen this, I think this looks good, but I'm not really sure what's going on. So, we're going to put this whole debate to rest, and we're going to go through each of the pros and the cons to both of these LRs, because there are pros and cons to each of them, and of course, it always depends on what cards you particularly have, which friends you can find easily, and just everything in general, okay? So, we're going to break this down into basically 2 to 3 parts, okay? So the first part's going to be taking a look at the LR Uub, or Majin, basically. We're going to take a look at his who the card is, and we're going to take a look at the pros and cons. Then we're going to look at the LR King Cold and Frieza. We're going to look at their pros and cons. Then we're going to debate and see what each of those LRs brings to the table compared to the other one when both looking at, and by the way, when I'm showing you guys showcases for all these things, I am not going to be taking these things to the Dokkan Fest events or Boss Rush or any of those little pity events or anything like that. We're going to be taking these guys to some hardcore events. We're going into Super Battle Road. I don't feel like taking either of them into the Legendary Goku event because they both rely heavily on lowering the enemy's attack, and you can only do that up until Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Anything after that, it's pure attack and defense and just, you know, increasing your own attack and defense and everything. So, and plus, obviously, the LR King Cold and Frieza, at the time of this recording, we're only able to get one copy. We can't get anything more. So, automatically, he's at 55%, is going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, obviously, compared to looking at the LR Majin. Now, full spoilers as well, I will also say that if you want to see what these guys both look like rainbowed and everything, go check out D-Free, The Truth, anyone like that who likes to do those kind of preview videos when a new unit is announced and the data download comes out and everything, okay? So if you want to see a full-on, you know, rainbow showcase of what these guys have, go ahead. Currently, right now, my Uub has 2 dupes, and my LR Frieza and King Cold have, well, 0 dupes, because can't get any more from that, okay? So, without further ado, let's get into what these cards do, what the best thing they can do, and just overall, who maybe might be the best pick for you, okay? And like I said before, we're going into Super Battle Road. We're doing both of them on categories and type, okay? I tried to put these guys into their best teams, obviously, and then also just kind of like, hey, I don't have the best cards, or I'm kind of newish, you know, so I picked this random card, and I'm trying to do like something like the type Super Battle Road or something like that, okay? So, with that being said, all disclaimers are out of the way, so let's get straight into it, okay? So, first off, let's take a look at LR Uub, okay? So, LR Uub starts off as, well, an LR, obviously. So, by the way, for both of these guys, you have to use Kai's. There's no other way around it. There's no farmable super attack, no nothing, okay? So, sorry to say, that's the unfortunate sad truth, okay? So anyway, so let's take a look at, I'm gonna call him Majin. He's Uub before he transforms, and then obviously he becomes Majin after he transforms. I'm just going to call him Majin, okay? Or I might flip up and just say Uub, but you guys get the idea, okay? So anyway, so Uub here, okay? So Resurrected Warriors, key +3, stats up 100%, okay? Pretty standard little leader right there, which is pretty nice for anyone who hasn't been able to pull the Frieza or any other future Revive Warrior category cards that might potentially come out or anything like that, okay? So, causes colossal damage to the enemy and lowers the attack, and then causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and lowers the attack as well for both the 18 and 12 key super attacks. So you guys obviously know what order those go in. Passive skill, okay, raises ki by up to 6 and attack and defense up 90%. The more HP you have, the more stats boost you have, okay? So that's pretty standard stuff. I think we've seen that with LR Bojack and other cards like that, okay? In fact, actually, the Barbershop LR Metal Cooler does the exact same thing in terms of the his attack stats and everything. So that's just something to keep in mind right there, okay? And you will fuse with Mr. Buu, apparently, when you have certain conditions met, aka when your HP is 40% or less when you come into the next round of the battle, you will then fuse with the Buu, okay? We're gonna get into what exactly he does there in just 1 second, okay? And now, his links, and this is one thing that Uub is definitely ridiculed for, and to an extent, I will mostly agree when he transforms. When not transformed, I actually think he doesn't have that bad of links, okay? So he's got Infighter, Revival. Revival is one of the key featured links when it comes to a Revive Warriors team, so that is definitely something really good to have right there. It's Tough as Nails, Cold Judgment, Kamehameha, GT, and Legendary Power, okay? Like I said, Uub, he's not really known for having the best of links and everything, but having that Revival key link right there, being on the Revive Warriors team, is really nice, okay? And then the categories he fits on is Revive Warriors and Transformation, okay? Now, when he transforms, though, what happens when he becomes, you know, Majin Buu, essentially, right? Obviously, leader skill stays exactly the same, and then his super attacks do change, and this is what they do. So his 12-key super attack then does colossal damage and lowers the enemy attack. Something to really change there or anything like that, although the animation does change. That's really nice. And then when he does his 18-key super attack from mega colossal damage, he greatly lowers the attack. So it is really good for Super Battle Road, personally, in Majin Buu's favor right there, okay? Passive skill, recovers HP 40% only the first time. Only the first time that this happens once, okay? So recover 40 HP, attack and defense up 100% at the beginning of the turn, randomly changes a key spear to a rainbow type. So it will randomly take maybe AGL orbs and turn to rainbow, or tech to rainbow, or whatever the case may be. And then you get +2 key for every rainbow orb obtained, okay? Now, his links actually do change up a bit, and this is probably where him being in Majin Buu's state is going to be a little bit better to be running alongside something like the Transformation team, because you have the STR Buu and everything like that. But he basically gets Revival Duo, Master of Magic, which I don't think many people really have that link to begin with, Majin, so that's a dead giveaway right there for the Majin Buu partner and everything like that. Cold Judgment he keeps from when he was non-transformed, Fuse Fighter, yeah, okay, whatever. GT and Legendary Power, okay? And then obviously categories stay exactly the same, okay? So with that being said right there, that is LR Uub / Majin Buu, whatever you want to call him, okay? And hopefully by now you guys are also seeing some gameplay starting to come up. First on the Revive Warriors team, and then second we're just putting him onto a random tech team. Like I said, I wanted to show both aspects of it, of him going onto his best team, and then also if you had to throw him onto a random type team for whatever advantage, okay? So anyway, ups and downs of the LR Uub, playing, you know, being able to use them myself, being able to throw them into different events and throw them into everything like that, okay? So, right off the bat, when he is not fused and everything, he actually is very good for Super Battle Road. And actually, I will say on top of that, for when he's fused as well. When he's not fused, having that Revival Key link right there is actually really nice, because most of that team has that. So automatically, it's kind of you're prepared for battle for the team, essentially. So, and that, in my personal opinion, that is really, really good. Lowering the attack for something like Super Battle Road all the time, obviously a plus right there. He gives himself key based on the HP that you have, and even times when you have maybe like 30 or 40% HP, but you missed it because you got hit a few times or something like that, or even like 50% health, and you haven't transformed just yet, you still give yourself a decent amount of key, and your stats are still not that bad. Obviously, you've probably gotten a super attack off already, and you've gotten the attack lower or anything like that, or even if you haven't, he actually does pretty good right there, okay? So he brings, he's self-sufficient. Yes, his links, you do what you do with them, essentially, okay? But overall, he is very self-sufficient when it comes to getting at least the 12-key super attack, if not the 18-key super attack, I'd say 90% of the time. So that is definitely a plus for him right there, okay? Like I said, his attack stat is not going to really be that high. 90%, 100% when you have him transformed. And again, a lot of his links you're not really going to find with a decent amount of people, okay? When he transforms, and he obviously gets up to 100%, and again, you're really not going to see him linking with many people unless you have him next side do an LR and you get a super attack, then Legendary Power kicks in, okay? Which again, Legendary Power is, it's a whatever link, to be honest. I mean, what, it's like plus 5,000 or something like that to attack. So again, it's not really something special there, okay? But one thing that he does greatly benefit from, and again, they probably, at least I'm hoping, I don't know if I should give Akatsuki too much credit on this, is that because of his lack of links, in terms, especially key links and everything like that, being on something like a Revive Warriors team or Transformation team, is that he provides himself key to get. He turns a random type orb into rainbow, and then you use those rainbow orbs to get +2 additional key, and you're basically almost guaranteed your 18-key super attack most of the time, at least your 12-key super attack, no problem whatsoever, okay? So right there, and again, 18-key super attack when he's transformed, greatly lowers attack. That's obviously a big plus right there. And if you run him alongside someone like the Tech Tapion, the Revive Warriors team, those two work beautifully together. And this dude's getting 18-key super attacks, no problem, okay? Even looking at just on a tech team and everything like that. And this comes back to him, again, being self-sufficient, where he's not really going to be linking up with a lot of people, but he's still going to do some decent things because, again, He either, through his passive, provides himself ki non-transformed, or when he's transformed, he provides the orb changing, and then you just grab the rainbow orbs, okay? So that is some of the most of the positives right there that I can personally think of off the top of my head when it comes to LR Majin Buu, okay? Again, he's only in 2 categories, so until another category comes out, potentially a GT category, I could definitely see him being raised up even higher. But that's what he is, okay? Now, one thing I will mention real quick before we go on to LR King Cold and Frieza is that he costs 250,000 battle points, okay? Or battlefield points, whatever you want to call it, okay? So it's a little high. It is a little high, considering the fact that to this day, even on JP, we have yet to receive any increase in the amount of battlefield points that we get per first round, okay? You guys know that when Battlefield resets at the beginning of the month, we then go into Battlefield and we beat all the stages, and then we get like 200,000 or something like that. So you still need a little bit more if you've saved up a decent amount. You know, you probably got to wait for a couple of weeks as you do the weekly missions to get an extra 6,000 each time. So that right there is not really the cost. Well, it is kind of the cost fault, but it's more on Akatsuki for refusing to increase it for some reason. So, like I said, to this day, we got LR Uub back in the year 4 anniversary, just like Global you currently have right now, or you're about to get him, basically. And it is now July 20th, 2019, which is, you know, 5-6 months almost before, you know, after we got him, and we still have yet to see a raise, okay? So that is LR Uub in a gist, basically, okay? Again, hopefully the gameplay has shown you both a Revive Warriors team and a Super Tech team, giving you some ideas about him on his best team, on just an average 120% hero team, that kind of stuff, okay? Again, if more teams come out in the future, then great. We'll be able to see that. We'll be able to showcase him and everything like that. But this is what he's able to do so far in Super Battle Road with 2 dupes, okay? Now, moving on to the LR King Cold and Frieza. These guys are, in terms of their leader skill and everything, very similar to Uub, okay? So let's go take a look at what they can do, and then we're going to get into, again, some pros and some cons. I'm going to go over their passive skills and everything like that, and I'm going to show gameplay of using their best team that I can personally make. I will say, disclaimer right now, I do not have the AGL cooler, okay? Both times he's come around, I've had to skip the banners due to reasons, so I had to use the Transforming Frieza as my leader, and then I finally was able to find a LR Metal Cooler friend, okay? So their attack stats are not going to look as impressive in my showcases simply because of that, okay? And like I said at the very beginning of the video, you want to see rainbow stats of both these guys, go check out D4 Age of Truth, the guys who do the little showcases for the units when they officially get data downloaded and everything. And you can see, again, what their official stats are going to be. But I think aside from simple attack stats, you can still take a look at these units and be like, okay, you know what? This is what they're going to do 90% of the time, okay? So anyways, let's get into LR King Cold and Frieza, okay? So these guys, again, are from Battlefield, just like beforehand. They are the Wicked Bloodline, most malevolent, Frieza Clan, whatever you want to call them, essentially. Category Ki +3, stats up 100%. Again, leader skills literally just like the LR Uub, just different category, obviously, okay? Super attack. So 12 ki super attack causes colossal damage and lowers the enemy's attack. Okay, again, actually just exactly like LR Uub. And then 18 ki super attack rate causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and raises extreme classes allies by 30% for 2 turns. So that's actually really nice right there. He acts as a support unit on the side, kind of, for his super attack if you get the 18 ki super attack off. Okay. Passive skill. This is where it definitely comes interesting. This guy is definitely more about the attack, okay? He's definitely more about putting the numbers out than someone like LR Uub. LR Uub is all about getting those attacks off and lowering the enemy's attack like no tomorrow and being able to tank, basically, okay? So anyway, so let's take a look at what his passive does. So attack and defense up 66%, plus an additional 20% attack for every Wicked Bloodlines category on your team, up to 60%, okay? So as long as you have 3 Wicked enemy Bloodline allies on your team, you'll get an additional 60% attack, okay? So basically, you're going to have a total attack of 126% attack, 66% defense, and if you're facing off against a Super Saiyan category enemy, then you get an additional 9 ki right there, okay? I'm going to get into that little bit of the passive there in just a second, okay? We're going to get into that once we've gone over the rest of the card, okay? Links down below are kind of your general Frieza clan links, essentially, okay? Tough as Nails, Universe's Most Malevolent. We've got Brutal Beatdown, Thirst for Conquest, Strongest Clan in Space, Fear and Faith. I give them 2 thumbs up for actually having that. I'm surprised they actually gave the LR that. And then Legendary Power, so that's right there. Categories, Joined Forces and Wicked Bloodline. Now, obviously, Wicked Bloodline is going to be his best category. Joined Forces, as of right now, we don't really have that great of a leader for that particular category, so it is what it is, I guess. So, and I think based on what we've seen from the limited combined category leaders, you literally wouldn't run these guys on that category because there's no other Frieza Force clans to run on that team to help boost them up. So, yeah, that is what it is right there, okay? Now, one thing that this guy is, I'm going to say one minus point, it doesn't sound like much, but it does, is that he costs 300,000 battle points in the Baba shop. And as of right now, the time that's recording, JP's only had the ability to get one. Okay, so just keep that in mind right there, that if you want to get him, just like with Uub, at first we were only able to get one copy, and then, you know, you had to go and wait till a couple more months later, then you get your second copy, third copy, the whole 9 yards, okay? So, as of right now, because I just finished that stuff up, hopefully the gameplay has already been playing in the background, so you guys are going to take a look first, again, at the Wicked Bloodline category, the best one I could possibly make on Super Battle Road. I had to go into Extreme, though, this Extreme stage, because there is no Wicked Bloodline category stage yet. I was able to obviously do that with Revive Warriors for the Uub, but this is the best I could do for Frieza at the time of this recording. And then later on will be an Extreme STR showcase with him as well, okay? So, looking at this guy in his positives, okay? Obviously, Wicked Bloodline category is really, really nice because it's really hard to find AGL Metal Coolers, okay? You guys know that that category, as good as it is, as strong as that category is, it's really hard to find those cards because a lot of people have skipped those banners or they've gotten him, but they don't run him as a friend because, you know, they can find them themselves, so they're going to try and run other teams and everything like that. And then obviously when you have something like the Year 4 celebration coming in, obviously everyone's going to go run their Super Saiyan 4 LRs, their Tech LR Brolys, their Go Bros, the whole 9 yards. They're going to run all those guys, right? So already the Wicked Bloodline's at a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes to that kind of thing, okay? Now, obviously, this guy, you know, the lower the attack on a 12-key super attack, if you throw some additionals into him and you get his 18-key super attack off first and then he gets an additional off, not only is he lowering the attack, he's going to be able to raise the attack for his allies for 2 turns, the extreme class ones, which, let's be honest, you're probably going to be running them with extreme allies for the most part all the time. So that's really nice right there. Again, he's lowering the attack, he's strong, and he's providing support for his allies, so that's really good right there, okay? If you happen to be running against a Super Saiyan category, again, you're going to be getting 9 keys, so 18 key super attack is super easy to obtain right there. Now, I will say this, kind of against it, kind of not against it, right, because it's a Super Saiyan category. There are a ton of Super Saiyan category cards in the game, right? The only downside is that a lot of them are in the Pure Saiyans category as well, and so I could easily make the, I think, the assumption that, yes, it is very easy to fight against a Pure Saiyan category team, or just a Pure Saiyan category enemy, but Super Saiyan, as of right now, in certain stages, it's a little hard to run into to get that 9 key right there. The good thing about the Frieza, obviously, is that you're going to be running him on the Wicked Bloodlines team, which means he's getting access to Strongest Clan in Space, Fear and Faith, most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time with that one. And and y'all got good supports for the Wicked Bloodline category. That category has some really good supports and everything like that. So right there, it's not too hard to get him to his 18-key super attack without that Super Saiyan category. When you run over to a team that potentially you are using him without a Wicked Bloodline ally, or maybe you only have 1 or 2, well, that might be a different story, depending on. But he does have Fear and Faith right there, so that is definitely a plus for him, okay? So try not to rely too much on that +9 key, okay? I think it's more of a extra little gimmick in that regard. I think for the most part, you're totally fine with trying to hit. Getting between the 12 key to 18 key super attack, at least in my showcases that I'm currently showing you right now, it wasn't too tough getting them, to be honest. It really wasn't. Just like with Uub, it was really easy to get those attacks, okay? I think the thing that maybe would have been a little lackluster for me, and again, I already know this because I made the disclaimers at the beginning of the video and everything, no dupes into him compared to 2 with Uub, okay? So obviously his attack is going to be a little lower. It's not going to be that great, just simply because, again, we haven't had the chance to get them, and again, Uub is a little bit, you know, cheaper. Not much, but it is a little cheaper. That 50,000 can make a difference sometimes right there, okay? So, and obviously, like I said before, he lowers the attack, so that's going to be really, really nice for something like Super Battle Road. One thing I did notice, though, with this guy, and again, that's the whole point of trying to lower the enemy's attack so this doesn't happen to them. He doesn't take damage very well, especially against type disadvantage, but even neutral typing when using items. If you guys, it's probably past this part of the gameplay already, but if you guys saw the beginning of the video where I was doing the Extreme Super Battle Road part, and the Trunks and the Goten were attacking him, and I activated the Princess Snake item, which heals me, mitigates damage, And I wanted to see just what he would take from that. And again, he's level 150. He's at 2,000 plus in the ability system, so nothing's going to change right there. He didn't really tank very well. Even, it was interesting to say the least. And again, I know it's because I don't have dupes into him. I know it's because I wasn't able to get an additional attack who said lower the attack or anything like that. But naturally, when I came to testing out the Uub, and I've even done this in other Super Battle Road videos, so I'll leave those down in the links in the description below, or they'll be up in the top right corner, basically. But when testing Uub out ever since I got him, he's been able to at least take a bit. And it's because he does get that 90% defense to become 100% defense when he transforms and everything. So that is one little knock it right there against the LR King Cold and Frieza as well. He gets a ton of attack. He is easily a more heavy attack guy than the LR Uub. Uub does maintain some of his defense, and this guy only gets 66%, which isn't that much. It really isn't. If this guy had something like big bad bosses with him, unfortunately, I know it's because I think his King Cold in there, and let's be honest, he's not really that big and bad of a boss. Then I wouldn't really knock this against him, because I'd be like, you know what, you're going to be below 80% a good chunk of the time in Super Battle Road, and so you're getting that extra 25% defense right there, so that's going to be really good. So that is something to keep in mind, though, right there, when this, especially when this guy has no dupes. That's basically what it's going to be, okay? So, with all that being said, we have taken a look at LR Uub, we have taken a look at his pros and his cons, we've looked at LR King Cold and Frieza, we looked at their pros and cons. My final word on these guys. It's really up to you and what team you particularly run, okay? Obviously, both of them only have 2 categories, so the teams that you run them on are already limited as it is, okay? Uub does have the advantage of still being able to find, at least on JP, again, I could be wrong on Global for a little bit of this, but more times than not, trying to find something like the Revived Warriors category with the Angel Golden Frieza is easier than finding the Metal Cooler lead, okay? Especially because I believe JP has had the King Cold or Metal Cooler twice. Global, I think you've only had him once show up. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, okay? So that's something against that part right there, okay? So again, it's easier to find LR Uub's best leader, essentially, okay? So that's definitely something to consider right there. Obviously, they're both baby leads of their natural born leaders, but just keep that in mind if you're trying to maybe put him on their best teams, okay? In terms of their being on just normal typing Super Battle Road, they both did very well, actually. I was very surprised about that. So that was definitely a plus right there for both of them, okay? Until LR Metal Cooler is able to be found more, I would personally be saying grab Uub for right now, grab him and maybe a dupe and keep him there, and then save up for LR King Cold and Frieza. In my personal opinion, until something either changes or it's easier to find different leaders, or maybe, you know, once we've been able to get access to a different leader for both of these guys that make them a little better, add some more categories to them, maybe LR King Cold and Frieza will jump ahead in my book, and that will be there, okay? Again, looking at their both of their best leader skills, both of these guys get the 170% attack and defense, but the Frieza clan, or the Wicked Bloodline, does give extra HP to these guys, whereas LR Uub doesn't get as much HP because, again, LR Angel Golden Frieza is only 130% to that. So with all that being said, guys, what is your personal opinions? Are you going to be going for the LR Uub? Are you going to go for the LR King Cold? Let me know your thoughts down below. Who is your personal favorites? Let's try to keep it civil here in the comments. They're both really good cards. For free cards that you get from the battle points and everything, they're both really good cards. They both can really help out the teams depending on how you run them, and they're both really good. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, so again, let me know your thoughts down below. Which ones are you gonna grab? You're gonna grab both, neither. You're gonna keep saving for whatever potentially comes out after LR King Cold and Frieza. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments, and was this video helpful for you? So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for the video though. Until next time, everyone, I will see you all in the next one. Okay, so I had to leave this until the very end, but basically, guys, just do it like this, okay? It's now year 4 for you, Global. Grab the LR Uub, grab your first dupe, maybe even grab your second dupe. Because guess what? You're not going to get LR King Cold and Frieza until basically the end of the year. So you've got time to save up. And little spoiler as well, when LR Uub came out to JP, we're able to get 2 copies at the first time. LR King Cold and Frieza, when you first get him, you can only get 1 copy. Even if you've saved up enough of these orbs and everything, you can only grab 1 copy when he first comes out. So yeah, let's just have the best of both worlds. Both. All right, go for both of them.